hit start recording. Oh yeah, we're just gonna read the PDAs now, because I forgot. Yes, forgetting the read PDAs, woo! Okay. You get to listen and read my favorite.
All systems are go for liftoff.
That jump scared me. Oh, I haven't gone through these. Well, that was all of them. Okay. Alien eggs. Evidence exists that a substantial number, if not all, the local species reproduce through egg laying. It's been found resting on the seafloor, buried beneath detritus, or even wedged into cracks in the rock. Different species may favor different biomes as their nesting grounds. Eggs discovered in the wild are in some form of natural stasis, likely awaiting ideal conditions in which to hatch, or the delivery of some vital enzyme which will kickstart the process. It is impossible to calculate the species from the egg from the exterior. However, it may be possible to stimulate a hatching response in an egg if relocated to a suitable alien containment unit. Material infection report. You have been infected with a previously unknown waterborne bacterium. It is currently multiplying in your bloodstream. Estimated incubation time 2 weeks. Your immune system is currently combating the infection at low efficiency. You may already be experiencing flu-like symptoms and skin irritation. This will likely be exacerbated as the bacterium takes hold. Your immediate priority should be abatement and eradication of the infection. Recommended steps. So it's further alien research data on a possible vaccine, investigate the mechanisms which have enabled indigenous ecosystems to inhabit the symptoms of the infection. Enzyme host peeper. A peeper specimen was observed emitting a faint fluorescent enzyme trail and engaging in unusual behavioral patterns. The peeper is actively approaching other creatures, including predators. The specimen is host to a bacterial infection, however the infection is currently dormant. Peeper's stomach cavity contains an unknown enzyme of foreign origin. Chemical analysis of enzyme bears some superficial similarity to stomach enzymes of larger predators. Contact with enzymes appears to inhibit the symptoms of the bacterial infection. Complex structure renders synthesis impossible. Assessment. Recommend further research into the enzyme origin. Enzyme host peepers leaving the containment facility. The outflow pipes are filled with peepers traveling back towards the surface. All specimens show no symptoms of infection. All specimens scanned are carrying enzyme 42, which data suggests inhibits the bacterium. Specimens' stomach cavities are otherwise empty, suggesting they may have purged the contents before entering the pipes. Assessment. The peepers have evolved to distribute enzyme via the pipe network. This may explain why the mechanism by which life on 4546b has survived since the bacterial outbreak. Hatching enzymes. Oh, that screenshot looks old. The emperor specimen's eggs are hatched to some form of incubator. In a normal life cycle, it seems likely that sea emperors would have buried their eggs in shallower waters, where different organic materials in the soil would have triggered a hatching response. The incubator suggests the aliens had resorted to developing artificial hatching enzymes, which would stimulate the eggs' naturally hatching environment, but were unable to discover the formula. With extensive information on the sea emperors themselves, it may still be possible to fabricate an artificial hatching enzyme using indigenous ingredients. However, the only surviving source of that information may be the sea emperor itself. Peepers entering the containment facility. Like how it's the exact same image. The pipe drawing water into the containment facility are filled with peepers arriving from the surface. The fish show no signs of distress. The specimens scanned have all consumed high quantities of seeds and organic matter from the surface. Some specimens are beginning to show signs of infection. Peepers inside the containment facility. While all other creatures encountered within the facility are isolated within it, peepers appear to be coming and going of their own accord via the alien pipe network. On arrival, peoples are approaching the sea emperor. Peepers exhibit a natural affinity for the stomach enzymes being expelled by the emperor. Peepers which have come in contact with the enzyme are returning to the pipe network. Analysis. This behavior must be the source of enzyme 42 on 4546b, or the area thereof which supports life. It is likely also responsible for the survival of the emperor and other life forms contained within the facility. Ray species on 4546b. Different species of ray indigenous to 4546b, each adapted to different environments. The specimens are 99.99% genetically identical to those encountered on the planet today, suggesting that the rays in particular have undergone little evolutionary mutation in the past millennium. Ghost rays, jelly rays, crimson rays, and rabbit rays likely all share a common evolutionary ancestor, the alpha ray. Would have evolved deep in the ocean trenches, quickly growing in line with available food supplies. It would have most resembled the ghost ray in size and appearance, with translucent skin for camouflage and forward-mounted eyes for hunting. This fast and fearsome stalker of small creatures in the dark. While some rays have stayed within the limits of the cave systems where they first evolved, others are relatively more recent adaptations to new environments, likely the result of overpopulation. All of the rays on 4546b have given up predation in favor of herbivorous scavenging and using poisonous flesh to protect themselves. Sea dragon egg. Oh, it's got an exclamation point. That's how you know it's bad. This large egg is held in a hermetically sealed environment and has been chemically sterilized. Without the means at the facility to house a fully grown sea dragon specimen, it is possible the aliens sought to study instead the egg laying and incubation process. To what end is unclear. Sea emperor fetus. Found preserved in a display case. It was likely the child of the adult specimen contained within the facility. Physiology. Superficial damage to the specimen indicates it was artificially removed from its egg casing. Stunted tissue development suggests the organism expired during the removal process. Tissue samples have been taken from the digestive tract. Analysis. It appears that aliens were attempting to formulate a cure for the bacterium from enzymes produced in this specimen's digestive system. Without a young, healthy specimen, these efforts were in vain. Specimen with symptoms of infection. This organism is displaying signs of bacterial infection. Bright green blisters are forming networks around the infection sites. Pathology suggests a waterborne bacterium capable of penetrating the body through the skin and respiratory system. Underlying indications of genetic mutation and aggressive behavior. The bacterium itself is unlike any so far recorded in human exploration. Warning. May be contagious. Avoid. Do not under any circumstances consume the flesh. The sea emperor eggs. Shell. Uncommonly strong shell lining. Organic growth on the exterior suggests that these eggs may be hundreds or thousands of years old. Alien tubes. Alien devices penetrate the outer shell layer, likely designed to supply them with nutrients and isolate them from the surrounding environment. Amniotic sac. Like many eggs on 4546b, these do not contain a nutrient supply, which is slowly exhausted by the embryo. Instead, they exist in the form of natural stasis, awaiting appropriate hatching conditions. Fetal organism. There's a high genetic match between the organisms and the leviathan in the vicinity. They appear to be stable and healthy. It is likely that ideal hatching conditions for the egg vary considerably from ideal survival conditions for the parent. The sea emperor's life cycle. Available biological data has been used to synthesize the effects of the alien bacterium on the sea emperor's natural life cycle. This creature likely lived and moved in small herds around the planet's ocean trenches, coming to the surface to feed off huge volumes of microorganisms in the shallower waters. Family size would be strictly limited by the available food supply. Offspring would likely split off at a young age to form their own herds elsewhere. Given their sparse population, mating and egg laying was likely infrequent, perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime event. The species likely had a preferred environment for egg laying. In fact, successful hatching may depend on such conditions. Given the rarity of this event, it is impossible to calculate those conditions precisely. Okay, blueprints, equipment, air pumps. Air pumps can be used to pipe breathable air to a remote location. The base-attached air pump can be built at a compatible habitat and will source oxygen directly from the habitat's oxygen generator. The floating air pump must have access to breathable air and be floating on the water's surface. Pumps must be contained to a pipe chain to function. Creature decoy. This advanced deployable is a catch-all solution for mimicking the behavior of living creatures for purposes of scientific research or predator evasion. Vibrates, cycles air and water, and sends out randomized high-frequency sound waves to emulate a living organism. It may be hand-placed or launched from compatible Cyclops submarines. Short on board, battery provides limited lifespan, attracts predators of all kinds. Handheld scanner. Okay, I need to read better. The essential science and survival tool. The scanner can be used to add blueprints to memory and analyze unknown entities. It emits electromagnetic radiation in a specified direction, which is reflected by the environment and then analyzed to determine the physical makeup of the targeted object. It has four primary functions. Blueprint acquisition. Record the physical parameters of scan technologies and add their blueprints to the PDA databank. These blueprints may then be constructed at the appropriate fabricator. The scanner is also equipped to break down damaged and otherwise useless objects into their base metals for salvage purposes. Organism analysis. The scanner will attempt to match scanned organisms against the onboard database. If no match is found, the species will be assigned an easy-to-remember name, and a new databank entry will be created. Your PDA's AI will also attempt to synthesize theories on behavioral tendencies and evolutionary origins, where possible, as well as deliver assessments on how to best approach them. Medical analysis. Scanning any living organism will display basic information on their state of health on the scanner's HUD. This information will be limited without access to a network database. Self-scan. The user may run a self-scan to determine their own physical well-being. The scanner will search for foreign bacteria and other signs of ill health and compare it with available data to provide a diagnosis. The Altera spectroscope scanner. Understanding the world so you don't have to. Okay. Laser cutter. The ultra-high frequency laser cutter is tuned specifically to cut through titanium and stainless steel-based materials at a thickness of up to 10 centimeters. This makes it an essential tool for construction, salvage, and rescue operations, but ineffective on natural obstacles. The Altera laser cutter, who called the locksmith. Light stick. Okay. A mobile battery-powered LED light which provides low-level lighting in a 360-degree area and can be attached to most surfaces. Propulsion cannon. Oh, there's a lot for this one. The propulsion cannon allows technicians to manipulate gravitational forces at ranges of up to 20 meters. It is commonly used in construction and mining to move materials. Operating instructions. Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Okay, I need that. Pull the trigger once to lock onto and attract a single targeted object weighing less than 25 kilograms. The object can now safely be retrieved from the gravitational beam. Alternatively, pull the trigger a second time to propel the object at speed away from the device. Not recommended for use on organic subjects. The prop cannon. Some species of telekinetic for everyone else. There's Altera. Okay, I need to get water. Oh, that's not good. My inventory's like full.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Let's go get some bladderfish. Yeah, we read all about the propulsion kit. I really did not need to do that. Why did I do it? I'll never know. Get stuff back in the base, I guess. I did my role playing now. I can't do that. Fish? Okay, dude. My S's and R's are freaking messing up so much. It's like not even funny.
Welcome
Put you in the
aboard,
time
Captain.
capsule. Alright, yep. It's all for my one-time capsule. back to reading. Radiation suit. This suit fully protects against the effects of radiation during land, sea, and space exploration. Safety rated up to 400 SV/HR. Cross-compatible with the all AEP suit functionality. Sleek. Okay. The radiation suit, a necessary precaution in a post-mad world. Reinforced diving suit. This suit is enforced with synthetic fibers to reduce incoming physical and thermal damage. Shock absorption reduces physical impact velocity by approximately 50%. Oh my gosh, this thing's worth it. Oh, I did not know how good this thing was. Rated for temperatures up to 70 degrees Celsius, okay. It's like 70 degrees. What? It can't even freaking handle my body temperature. Disclaimer, you are not invulnerable when wearing this suit. The reinforced dive suit. Why take chances when you can take Altera? Repair tool. The repair tool can be targeted at any common device control panels, habitat modules, radios, etc. to stitch wires and seams back together at the atomic level. All good technicians keep one of these under their pillow. Most people don't care why it works, just that it saved their life that one time. But in case you're curious, it combines scanner and fabricator technologies to determine the proper specifications for the targeted object and rearranges the available physical material to match the original specs. The Altera repair tool. Get your fix. The repulsion cannon. Propulsion cannon is a modification to the base propulsion cannon, which enhances its propulsion effect at the cost of the ability to draw objects closer. It can be fabricated using a modification station and is commonly employed in self-defense and as a less than lethal firearm. Stasis rifle. The stasis rifle uses patent technology to slow time around an entity to as near as a full stop as the laws of physics will permit, essentially anchoring the target in a place without affecting its internal workings. It is designed to facilitate scientific and engineering operations by expanding the opportunity of action in time-sensitive scenarios. The stasis rifle features an independent, replaceable power cell, and the trigger may be held down to increase the area of effect and duration. Common applications include slowing fast-moving mechanisms such as fan belts to facilitate maintenance operations, temporarily incapacitating organisms for research purposes, navigating perilous spaces by freezing potential threats, and B, may not function correctly on larger life forms. Okay. The Altera stasis rifle. Life's fast. Why not put it on pause? Time capsule. Whoa! Time capsule. These sturdy containers are designed to store written and photographic evidence for later retrieval. In addition to a number of small items, time capsules are often fabricated by marooned survivors seeking either to aid those who find themselves in the same predicament in the future, or to leave evidence of their plight, which may be found long after their bodies have disintegrated. Most emergency escape vehicles are equipped with a time capsule by default, usually found in the cockpit and be jettisoned on takeoff. Altera requests time capsules be stocked with tools and resources which will aid those who may discover them in the future. I gave them a compass and a pathfinder too. That they need those. To ignore the crash fish. Water filtration suit. Okay. The industry standard water filtration suit is designed to minimize water loss while exploring hostile environments by filtering and recycling bodily fluids. Reclaimed water is stored in containers for later consumption. Normal production rate is 2 bottles per day. Filters contaminants from no less than 4 different bodily excretions. Blood and sweat may be effectively processed. Upgrade to Mark II to make the most of tears. Onboard flavor neutralizer can be activated at startup. Flavor neutralizer not included on all models. The water filtration suit, because drinking reclaimed urine is better than death by dehydration. Okay. Habitat installations, alien containment unit. Despite huge Altera-led advancements in stellar technology, exploring new worlds still has its challenges, and alien life forms are one of them. That's why we built the Alien Containment Unit. The unit is designed to primarily to breed larger or more dangerous species. Technical provisions. Units may be installed in multi-purpose room modules. Units may be connected between rooms stacked in a column. A hatch must be installed in order to access the unit. The base of the unit is a planter, allowing sea flora to be grown from seed. Breeding tips. Providing sufficient time and living space, organisms of the same species should mate and reproduce. Eggs inside the unit will hatch over time. Organisms raised from birth in captivity often exhibit unusually passive behavior. Warnings. Environmental controls may fail if the unit is overpopulated. Infections may be transmitted faster between specimens in artificial environments. Never tap the glass. You don't know what will tap back or how hard. That reminds me of that one gorilla video where somebody hits their does the gorilla thing, and then the gorilla comes up and smashes the glass. Okay, aquarium. The aquarium is designed to hold and sustain up to 8 small aquatic organisms and fits inside a regular multi-purpose habitat room. Aquatic creatures make up 70% of all known species, making the aquarium a commonly deployed tool in many exploratory operations. It is just as often used to hold livestock for later consumption as it is to hold specimens for xeno research. An automated environment regulation system means there's no need to feed or care for your subjects. NB. Due to the size, the regular aquarium is not rated for breeding applications. The creatures are highly unlikely to mate. Construct a full-size alien containment unit for this purpose. Bulkhead door. This is my favorite one, guys. Oh wait, no, my favorite one's coming up. We haven't gotten to it yet. The bulkhead door is designed to separate compartments while reinforce structural integrity with its solid titanium frame. The door can be opened and closed to seal off compartments in the event of a fire or flooding, or simply for privacy. Exterior grow bed. Advanced synthetic soils allow this grow bed to support a huge variety and quantity of alien plant life, and it can be installed anywhere on land or underwater where there is space. Fabricator. Fabrication technology is the power to rearrange matter at the atomic level. It was the catalyst behind the Great Expansion and remains the backbone of the modern world. Fabricators come in all shapes and sizes, but the most common are small enough to be wall-mounted and are used for everything from constructing everyday implements to cooking dinner. It is common today for households to keep a store of generic base materials on hand for any eventuality. Floodlight. The standard issue floodlight is designed to focus a bright beam of light in a single direction, useful in all kinds of industrial and emergency operations. Functions in all known environments. Habitat Builder. The Altera handheld habitat builder has been an essential tool for xenoscientists, colonists, and emergency relief crews across 11 different transgovs for more than 50 years. Habitat modules are hermetically sealed from the outside environment. Build on land, underwater, or in a vacuum. Habitats can be enhanced to become long-term homes, remote research stations, defensive outposts, and more. Quick Start Guide. 1. Select the base compartment from the Builder menu and place it somewhere opportune. Add a hatch to access the component. 3. Build a solar panel to power the habitat's oxygen generator. 4. Construct useful interior modules like radios, rechargers, and storage solutions. Primary habitat systems like oxygen generation and flood control, as well as modules like the fabricator, drop power and will not function without it. Additionally, compartments. Additional compartments reduce overall hull integrity, depending on external pressure. Quick build habitats, a home far, far away from home. Interior grow bed, designed for exclusively inside regulated habitat modules. The interior grow bed is more compact than the outdoor version and features a hydroponic nutrient delivery system. Modification station. Where the standard fabricator automatically rearranges raw materials to form complex devices, the mod station is able to combine complex devices to enhance their function. Most industrial vessels are fitted with a complement of equipment modification station, which enables engineers to adapt their tools on the fly. To conserve hard drive space, the modification station is excluded by default from most personal emergency blueprint libraries. However, extreme environments such as ocean and desert class planets may necessitate the adaptation of basic survival tools for unanticipated applications. For this reason, access to a mod station is always recommended. Moon Pool. The Moon Pool is an essential module for long-term exploration. Its primary function is as a dry dock for small vehicles such as the Seamoth and Prawn Suit. The large central chamber contains a pressurized pool, which provides ready access to the surrounding waters and comes as standard with equipment for racing and recharging vehicles. When outfitted with a vehicle modification station, the moon pool can be used to build and equip vehicle upgrades. Ratings: dimensions 16 meters by 10 meters by 5 meters, connection points 6. Habitat full strength liability at sea level -5, equivalent 4 rooms. Capacity 1 Seamoth / Prawn Suit, high power consumption. Plants and pods. Wow, interior planters come in a variety of configurations and allow most plant specimens to grow in a small number, protected botanical or botanical. I don't care. It's planters. Scanner room. This advanced habitat module can transform a small outpost into a bourgeoising science and exploration station. Burgeoning. A 3D display in the center of the room stores local topographical data. System can scan and pinpoint particular materials. Remotely controlled drones can scan the area up to 500 meters in range. Wall-mounted camera feeds allow for live control of scouting drones. Upgrade console may be used to enhance the module's function. Spotlight, a permanent lighting solution developed for installation on existing habitats and facilities. Automatically rotates on a 180-degree arch. Motion sensitive, will track nearby moving objects. Draws electricity from main power. Water filtration system. The filtration system draws water unfit for human consumption from an external source, automatically splits it into constituent parts, and outputs consumable water, liquid waters, and salts. While disposing of any harmful byproduct, it can also be built in any compatible habitat module, but has substantial power requirements. The Altera water filtration system. Any liquid into pure, refreshing, pH-balanced water? Yes, sir, any liquid. Oh. No. Power. Bioreactor. On planets where organic matter is plentiful, but sunlight is not, a reliable bioreactor will frequently prove the most efficient power solution. May be installed in any multi-purpose habitat room. Chemically composts organic materials, converting them into energy over time. accepts all plant matters from seeds and spores to moldy fruits and vegetables. It can also process animal matter, fat, muscle, eggs, etc., and some organic waste products. Energy production is proportionate to the calories in the organic matter, the bioreactor, totally organic. Nuclear reactor. Renewable energy source will usually be sufficient for maintaining a small outpost. For everything else, there's nuclear power. Powered by up to 4 replaceable uranium reactor rods. Do not attempt to replace reactor rods without a full radiation suit. Do not attempt to overclock the reactor. Nuclear is ideal for energy-intensive operations such as self-sufficient colonies supporting more than 20 people, industrial outposts operating multiple docks and heavy machinery, research stations housing live specimens. Solar panel. Solar power is the most prevalent power source in the galaxy, and so it is no accident that the standard solar panel is the default means of powering a habitat. A power source is a requirement of habitat, oxygen, generators, and other onboard modules. Provides limited power for small outposts and survival habitats. May be mounted on or near the habitat itself, or placed remotely and connected via power transmitters. Power rate relative to sunlight exposure. Thermoplane. The first rule of survival in hostile environments is to work with the resources available. If it's 800 degrees outside and you're in danger of burning to death at any moment, you may as well get some cheap, reliable energy out of it. Converts heat energy into electricity. Always take thermometer readings before attempting installation. Core mechanisms are housed in a heat-resistant chassis but are not impervious to extreme temperatures. The thermoplane. It's hot. Vehicles. Cyclops. Cyclops is the most popular and reliable deep-sea submersible in the galaxy. By comparison to the competition, it can be crewed by just one pilot, hence the name. It features 3-speed manual piloting controls and forward observation deck for precision maneuvering. Dry dock for transportation, maintenance, and recharging of scouting vehicles. Extensive storage solutions in the keel hold section. Internal and external video feeds. Onboard AI for threat detection. Extensive customization options. Advice for captains. Higher speeds generate additional noise, which may attract undesired attention. Power consumption. Energy off 0%. Slow 25%. Standard 50. Flank 100. Silent running mode may be activated in conjunction with any speed setting to reduce noise close to 0 at a substantial additional power cost. Cyclops upgrades may be fabricated at the terminal in the engine room and installed at the neighboring panel. Mobile Vehicle Bay. The Mobile Vehicle Bay is a deployable station equipped with fabrication drones designed to construct small research and exploration vehicles from raw materials. It is a common tool in almost all industrial, scientific, and colonization operations. The Neptune Escape Rocket. The blueprint set was developed by Altera headquarters specifically to get you off 4546B and back to the nearest phase gate. It takes into account local gravity, astronomical data, and available resources, and is piloted by an AI. It may be adapted to employ whatever power source is available, but it will require a lot of it. It consists of 5 independently constructible parts. Launch platform. Floating platform provides a solid base from which to launch the rocket. Gantry provides structural support. Stage 1. Primary thrusters for reaching atmosphere escape velocity. Stage 2. Fuel reserve. And Stage 3. The cockpit. Features 1-person life support, short-range communications, adaptable power supply, orbital shielding, and onboard time capsule. Warning. Onboard AI will not launch if local threats are detected. Warning. The use of alien materials to power and craft may increase its range in unpredictable ways. If we use the ion power cells, hell no, dude, those things are weak. 2 ion power cells? I use that stuff to charge my prawn suit, and it could actually Yeah, I don't think I'd ever have to. I've had to charge my prawn suit like very few times. I don't know. Maybe we just didn't make it. I mean, we had to. Below zero happened. Prawn suit Mark III. The pressure reactive waterproof nanosuit is a range. The PRAWN. Huh. Pressure reactive waterproof nanosuit. Huh. Yeah, you know what? That it works. It's a range of mechs designed to protect the pilot from extreme environments. The Mark III is the latest iteration and has so far only been rolled out by Altera for their own high-value phase gate-related operations. The suit is fully insulated from the outside environment. Powerful hydraulic limbs allow for manipulation of objects and power traversal of the environment. Rear-mounted thrusters provide maneuverability in low-gravity environments. A range of modifications are available to facilitate resource extraction and enhanced exploration. I'm gonna get some food. Yeah, that's Mark III. Okay. Yummy, yummy. Yeah, they really put in the effort. That's great. They did not put in the effort in Below Zero. Yeah, the thing with Below Zero is it feels more like a proof of concept than a game. Like playing it, it just feels like it doesn't feel like
Welcome
playing
aboard, Captain.
like a game. It feels like you're playing an idea that got kind of developed. The worst part about Below Zero is that Margaret might have survived. She's not alive. That's not how it's not how it works. Okay. Sea Glide. The Sea Glide is a personal transportation device designed for use in oceanic environments. Capable of speeds up to 36 kilometers in standing water, displays basic topographical data for aid in charting cave systems. Replaceable battery, keep fingers clear of the propeller. The Sea Glide. Anything that moves faster underwater is probably trying to eat you. The Sea Moth. The Sea Moth is a one-person vehicle with an independent replaceable power cell fitted in the rear and a fully customizable design. Low-power multi-directional thrusters enable it to function equally well in sea or space environments. Oh, this thing works in space? That's sick. Most long-range vessels carry at least 2 vehicles of this class to facilitate the exploration and exploitation of small astronomical bodies. However, they can also be fabricated at a standard mobile vehicle bay. Ratings: top speed 13 meters, acceleration 5 meters per second, distance per power cell 10 kilometers, crust depth 200 meters below sea level, upgrade module slots 4, dimension 3 meter by 1, okay, whatever. Sea Moths may be modified by installing upgrade modules to access point mounted on the wing. These include increased cargo storage, superior power, pressure and collision compensation, enhanced sonar, defensive capabilities. NB. These modules may only be manufactured at Moonpool outfitted with a vehicle modification station. The Sea Moth. It goes anywhere but land. Vehicle upgrade console. This terminal allows vehicles to be customized with different naming and color schemes and upgrade modules. Must be installed in compatible Moonpool module. Upgrades may be constructed at the dedicated fabricator. Upgrades include additional defensive capabilities, scanning equipment, and storage. Okay, that's all the blueprints. Ooh. We got the long one, and we just got through the second one, and on the longest one, oh my gosh. Okay, and data. Alien building block. This rock-like object features organic as well as mechanical parts, and there is some genetic and technological crossover with the design of the self-warping constructs accounting elsewhere. It appears to serve no purpose in its current state and is awaiting some kind of activation sequence. Materials such as this may have been a fundamental building block of the aliens' technology or even the aliens themselves. Oh. Alien carving, yin and yang. This carving is hundreds of thousands of years old and made from an unrecognized natural fiber, grown on an unknown planet. It bears striking resemblance to the old Earth yin-yang symbol. Two competing theories may explain the similarity. Aliens visited Earth prior to the 4th century BC and influenced the development of ancient Chinese philosophy. The concept of yin and yang is universal, since yin and yang describe the fundamental interdiversity of seemingly opposite forces. It may be necessary existential understanding in some form in all sufficiently developed civilizations, the tampering of two circles union into opposizing and infinitely smaller points, the finite, is one logical way to represent this understanding and may have been developed independently by species other than humans. Well, we know number 1 is true because there's an ancient Earth blade. Alien rifle. Strong resemblance to human weaponry in form. This device must have been designed with a humanoid user in mind. Whether the aliens that built this structure were themselves humanoid, or otherwise employed the use of humanoids is unclear. What is clear is that they considered defending this facility as a necessary precaution. There is no obvious way to remove the rifle from its case. Alien statue. This artifact is unparalleled, suggesting it served a ceremonial rather than practical purpose. The pyramid resembles vines spiraling towards and upwards the warm blue stone mounted above them. It may represent a plant found on the aliens' homeworld, a building of religious import, or even a gravitational pull of their home solar system. Ancient Earth blade. An ancient Earth blade dating back to the 13th century. Blood samples on the blade match the DNA of 7 separate heads of state from the period. This evidence supports the theory that aliens are ancient space-borne civilization engaged in their surreptitious study of less developed species. Doomsday device. Scans indicate this device contains enough potential or energy to destroy the entire planet, along with most of the solar system. Fortunately, it has malfunctioned. Holographic projector. This device contains network apparatus and a holographic projection unit. It was likely used as a communications relay, capturing and projecting the image of the user to a remote location. There do not appear to be any other devices in range. Nanobot. Scan shows some form of an advanced nanobot inside the seemingly empty case. These bots are subsequently smaller than any developed within the Federation, and it is not possible to ascertain their exact function. It would, however, be unwise to release them. Organic matter particulator. This device contains a highly unstable radioactive isotope, likely to destroy all organisms exposed to it while leaving physical structures intact. Although it would function perfectly well as a weapon, it was more likely used to sterilize spaces for later inhabitants. Without instructions, it would be unwise to interact with it. Rudimentary tablet. This device shares similarities with the tablets used to access the alien facilities. Although their structure is rather less complex, it may have served a similar purpose, granting security access and storing relevant data, and was thus kept here as a form of legacy support. Tracking implant. It's kind of like a boomerang. It's a tracking implant. That's what the boomerang was. This construct is emitting a high bandwidth signal consistent with alien transmissions intercepted elsewhere. DNA on the exterior indicates it was once implemented inside one of the lifeforms indigenous to 4546b. Its size suggests the object was a Leviathan-class organism. Beyond tracking and broadcasting its location, the implant may also have recorded biological data on the subject. However, this data cannot be retrieved. Translation device. This device stores linguistic data from over 1,000 different languages. The core of the device may allow alien texts to be read and translated. Analysis of the onboard data reveals a number of ancient Earth languages, and the term CHBC Live appears many times on the device's data. Its import is unclear. The device seems to be configured to translate into the designer's language. It will not work the other way around. Oh. Scan data, alien arts. The structure, intended purpose is unclear. Theories on function. Ceremonial or religious role. Industrial applications. Advanced transportation network. Assessment. Further research required. Alien flora research. Local plants being held in stasis. The aliens evidently sought an extensive knowledge of the planet's ecosystem, which would have been necessary to support any live specimen research. Alien robot. Not too dangerous. This device is of alien origin, although its design is relatively simple. Purpose. Its low threat level is at odds with the advanced technology apparently available to its designers, suggesting it was intended more as to patrol alien facilities and repair damaged infrastructure than to deter invaders. Design. Despite its simple design, this construction is quite elegant in its minimalism. 4 electromagnetic legs allow it to traverse floors, walls, and ceilings with reasonable speed, and appear to replaceable internally. There are a few moving parts, rendering this construct energy efficient and resistant to wear over time. A rechargeable ion-based power source reserve ensures it continues to operate. Assessment. Immobilize and return to Altera for mutual profit. I'm sorry, gang. I can't. I mean, I could try the propulsion cannon. That'd be an interesting thing. And thermal plant. This system is directly converting local thermal energy into electric current to 90% at 90% efficiency. Most of the energy is being stored in battery-like devices within the plant itself, each of which holds enough to power a small city for a year. Some of it, however, is being drained off, presumably as is distributed to other facilities on the planet. The power plant appears to be fully automated and, given current understandings of the mechanism involved, uninterrupted. Alien vents. These vents connect to an ancient piping network that extends beyond maximum scannable depth. The pumping system is still functional. The inflow vent is drawing water from the surrounding area and pumping it to an unknown location below the surface. Warm, deoxygenated water is being expelled into the atmosphere. Most creatures are avoiding the vents. Peepers can be observed entering and exiting the pipe network without signs of distress. Assessment. Further research required. Aquarium arch. Scans indicate this arch was left inactive when the facility was abandoned. It likely served as an access point to the surface of the planet. It was much too small for the Emperor to pass through, but would accommodate smaller life forms. Aquarium pipe access point. An access point in the alien piping system transporting water to and from the containment facility. Peepers are using the pipe network to travel to and from the surface. Blue tablet. Smooth and cold, with a blue light that illuminates an alien symbol resembling the uppercase H. Oh, it does. It's just the other way around. You use the black one to make the H. Okay. While it is likely these devices served in part as security clearance for whoever constructed them, their size suggests some additional purpose, such as personal computers. Whatever the case, the technology is far beyond humanity's own. Damaged anchor cable. These thick cables were designed to anchor the nearby facility to the surrounding cables. Damage to the cabling has resulted in the facility collapsing to the floors. Calculations suggest the damage would require an percussive force of 300 tons? Holy crap, that thing's powerful. Energy core. This device houses energy equivalent to 100 megaton nuclear detonation, which has been channeled through the facility and directed at vessels overhead, or bent around the planet's gravitational pull to strike targets in orbit. Power is routed via the attached terminal, allowing for the device to be deactivated if necessary. It is currently operating without parameters, suggesting it will target any ship within range. Ooh. Okay, force field control terminal. This device matches no known technologies, and this is likely alien in nature. Power is being routed via the terminal to a nearby force field. The technology is far beyond anything encountered before by the Federation. Nonetheless, there is a good chance it functions like a regular lock and only requires the correct kind of key. Ion cube. This green mineral substance has no entry on the periodic table and an unprecedented ability to store huge amounts of ionic energy within it. Likely grown artificially, cubic appearance suggests it has been cut from a larger deposit. Each cube contains the equivalent ionic energy of 5 kilotons of TNT. Holy. Under the right conditions, the energy could be released in a controlled manner. Likely uses batteries, but would require a substantial power source to be recharged. Assessment. Variable energy source. Yeah, that makes sense. Ion cube fabricator. This device appears to be the origin of the raw mineral that forms at the base of the ion cubes, which powers smaller alien systems. Likely drawing power itself from the main thermal plant, this device may represent an almost limitless source of energy. Orange tablet. Yeah, it does represent it. I thought so. Orange tablet. This device hums slightly and displays an orange-lit symbol resembling an N. It may offer a way to interact with compatible technologies. Oh, this is my favorite one. My favorite entry. Production line. A production line of warpers. It's so good. It gives you so much to know from. You learn literally the entire game lore from this. If you haven't scanned this, you have to. It's the best one in the game. Yeah, and I missed it. Almost every time I played, I just got it this playthrough. At the very end, and like, oh my gosh. Okay. No. Carbon tablet. This carbon-based device is lighter than it looks, and features a symbol which resembles a U, lit up in purple. Despite the onboard power still functioning, algae growth on the exterior indicates it was abandoned hundreds, perhaps thousands of years ago. While the technology is far beyond Federation levels, and there is no obvious way to interface with it, it should nonetheless be possible to fabricate a precise physical copy of the device if necessary. Research equipment, a large laboratory table, and accompanying scanners incorporate technologies far beyond our current level of understanding. Hypothesis: equipment maintenance, staff maintenance, specimen analysis, specimen gene manipulation. Research probes. The prominence and facing of these alien devices suggest they were some kind of probe or sensor. Their subject would seem to be the vast skeleton in the center of the cavern, and attached to the cable network may lead to a remote power station or data hub. Assessment: investigate. Oh, well, we already went there. Self-warping quarantine enforcer unit. The warper. This lifeform shows signs of heavy genetic modification and extensive mechanical grafting. Its digestive and pulmonary systems have been replaced by an onboard battery receiving energy directly from the main grid and distributing it around the body. Miniaturizing phase technology has been implemented beneath the skin and is triggered by the central nervous system, allowing the construct to teleport at will. The brain and central nervous system have been digitally augmented with advanced processing power and remote communications. Assessment: programmable hunter/killer. Avoid. Sonic deterrent. These small alien structures are emitting high wavelength sound waves, which seem to be designed to deter indigenous lifeforms from approaching the larger facility. More parts. The organic parts on display contain DNA from dozens of different organisms, largely originating off-world. They are in varying states of augmentation with advanced technology. The production line setup suggests these self-warping constructs were built, maintained, and deployed by the aliens that designed this facility. Okay, terminal data. Alien biological history. This terminal contains data mapping the complete biological history of a member of the alien species. The dataset is hugely complex, but some basic facts can be reconstructed. Was grown from a seed 1,708 Earth years ago. Separated from broodlings early for special training, inducted into temple of research as the youngest ever initiate, age 96. Downloaded a corrupt dataset and was stored for 3 years for refactoring. Relocated to the outer galaxy cluster to support disease research endeavors. Relocated to 4546b for high priority disease research. Contracted Carabacterium. Stored in Sanctuary 3, corporeal body safely disposed. Huh. Alien Data Terminal. Discovered inside an alien facility, it was not possible to translate any useful information. However, scans have returned some information on the device itself. It is likely a solid-state computer, although there is no clear way to interface with it. On approach, it began producing low-frequency radio waves containing complex but recognizable data patterns. It is likely the alien species which designed this technology evolved or genetically selected sensory apparatus to hear and understand the information being broadcast by the device and communicate back. The mental processing power required to perform this kind of telepathy would imply that designers were considerably more psychologically developed than the common human. Assessment. Further research required. Alien Sanctuary Alpha. Architectural information has been downloaded regarding this antechamber. Ceiling fixtures. The structures mounted to the ceiling of the cavern cast a low green light over the data hubs below, but they are also regulating the pH level of the surrounding water and emitting a low-frequency sound wave. It is possible the intent was to ensure ideal conditions for a practical end, but their purpose may also have been ceremonial or even recreational in nature. Aesthetics. Ornate in design, the cubes mounted on the pedestals are not being drained of power, suggesting they serve some more symbolic purpose. Similarities to old Earth religious iconography may be coincidental, but they may indicate some shared and ancient cultural history. It's a power source. Stupid. My PDA is so dumb. Okay, I gotta get some water. Dude, I should just go to the Aurora to get more freaking water. How do I make bleach again? Let's see. This might be worth just making salt deposit and coral tube sample. Yeah, that's what I want. Unlucky.
Fluid intake.
I'm working on it. I've been reading you. Shut up.
Vital signs stabilizing. Welcome aboard, Captain.
Alien Sanctuary Beta. This antechamber consists of a series of data hubs, each adorned with an ion cube. These are networked up to the main terminal in parallel, presumably to ensure data integrity over time. Unprecedented data complexity. Stored data was scanned in the system at the local terminal. Original data source was organic in nature. Evidence suggests that this antechamber served as a sanctuary of last resort for the aliens that built it. In the event of catastrophe, they could retreat here and somewhat transfer themselves to the data hub for preservation. It is unclear whether other members of the alien species ever returned here. Oh, this is setting up below zero. It is unclear whether other members of the alien species ever returned here or how many souls are backed up on the hubs. But the data stored so far, this data stored is far too complex to reconstitute with the little information available. Damage report. Leviathan detected at facility perimeter closing at high speed. Exterior anchor cable impacted with massive force. Exterior anchor system bulking, facility sinking, collision with seafloor. Breaches detected in containment unit 7, Leviathan eggs. Oh, so that's how the Sea Dragon got out. Immediate specimen deconstruction protocol initiated. 314 specimen destroyed. 1 specimen unaccounted for. Evacuating staff to off-site sanctuaries. Planetary quarantine protocol initiated. Warning: infected individuals may not leave the planet. Enforcement platform schematic. This data set appears to be a multidimensional schematic of some kind. By mapping the pattern to 3-dimensional space, it is possible to gather a basic understanding of this facility's internal workings. Construction materials. The facility's unknown construction material is identified as an ultra-hard, non-reactive metal amalgam. Synthesized from off-world materials, there is no indication that it can be damaged or destroyed by available means. Power. The schematic indicates the facility has to be powered by a separate self-sustaining power plant located elsewhere on the planet. The location is not listed, but there is evidence that the designer intended to harness the planet's natural thermal energy. Layout. The facility consists of the upper engineering section, where the schematic was found, and the control room, where the access via a security-sealed elevator shaft or a separate underwater moon pool. Control. The control room in the lower section houses the only known way to interface with the facility. However, the schematic does not detail the operation procedure or installed security measures. Okay. Enzyme 42 project data. According to translated data logs, an indigenous Leviathan species was found to produce a unique substance referred to as Enzyme 42, which inhibited the symptoms of the Kara bacterial infection in other indigenous organisms. The specimen was captured and contained in a purpose-built habitat for further study. The alien researchers went to great lengths to provide for the life form's environmental needs, including the important and interdependent flora and fauna via an on-site warp gate. However, its health quickly deteriorated. When quarantine was imposed, all warp gates and force fields were sealed. All attempts to develop the enzyme into a vaccine have been unsuccessful. Fauna reproductive data. Extensive alien research data on the local fauna with a special focus on their reproductive methods. Core conclusions have been synthesized. The aliens discovered the life forms on the planet have just one sex. They observed local organisms engaging in asexual reproduction. All healthy individuals tested were capable of egg laying. Eggs usually require genetic material from another of the species. In rare case, only one parent is required, with evolutionary mutation introduced by the effects of the environment itself. Research appears to have been focused around hatching conditions and genetic variations between parent and child. Fossil data. Fossil data recorded from the volcanic rock that has excavated to construct the alien power facility. It has been possible to extrapolate a number of key trends. Genetic divergence. The aliens recorded data on indigenous organic remains originated from 10,000 to 1,000 years ago. The life forms on record feature an unusually low overlap with those encountered so far in 4546b. Extinction event. Soil samples from 1,000 years ago contain 300% higher concentration of organic remains than the soil average. Data supports a mass extinction event happened, killing off a majority of species and forcing rapid adaptation amongst many of the survivors. Ion power data. It has been possible to extract useful information regarding alien ion power. Ion cubes are grown artificially from a mineral substance and are treated to remain in a stable state despite the huge ionic energy contained within. By installing an ion cube in the appropriate device, this energy can be released as electrical power. Using this knowledge, it has been possible to synthesize new battery and power cell blueprints with leveraged advanced ionic energy to last considerably longer. Kara contagion profile. This terminal contains extensive data regarding the bacterial contagion identified as Kara. Discovery. First encountered during routine network expansion on outer worlds. Pandemic development. Network error resulted in routine quarantine procedure failure. Contagion was uploaded to and spread quickly through the core worlds. Confirmed deaths 143 billion individuals. Holy dude. Bacterial mechanisms. Attaches to healthy living cells and mutates the basic genetic structure. Symptoms. Stage 1. Gradual immune system failure. Stage 2. Green skin, lesions, and flu-like symptoms. 3. Unpredictable alteration to biological structure. Stage 4. Complete shutdown of executive function. Emergency steps taken. Core worlds quarantined. Bacterial sample distributed to isolated disease research facilities for vaccine development. Treatment procedure unknown. See Emperor Leviathan research data. Specimen size categories have been adjusted upward to accommodate this species. Feeding and digestion. Alien research data indicates that despite its size, this species feeds entirely on microorganisms it filters from the water, which themselves depend on a complicated ecosystem of plant and animal life. Reproduction. Large ovary-like organs are carried in the creature's middle section, suggesting that, like other species on this planet, it produces eggs. However, internal scar tissue indicates probable infertility. Enzyme 42. The Emperor manufactures enzyme 42 within its stomach cavity to break down its food and will occasionally expel it into the surrounding water. This substance was found to neutralize the effects of the bacterium, and its presence in the ecosystem today would explain how life on the planet survived the outbreak. It would remain to be explained by what mechanism the enzyme is being delivered. Health. Comparative analysis of size and metabolic rate indicates the specimen captured by the research was approximately 16,600 years old. Extensive internal and external scar tissue suggests it had lived well in excess of the peak lifespan for its species. Assessment. While a healthy emperor specimen may have held some potential as a cure, it is unlikely any research subjects survived quarantine procedures. Specimen research data. A catalog of information on the organisms previously contained within the alien facility. A number of entries have been translated. Small herbivore gamma. This entry seems to reference the common peeper. Shows no immunity to infection. Death commonly occurs within 4 days. Shows symptom remission on exposure to enzyme 42, but symptoms quickly recur. Shows advanced learning behaviors. Shows some capacity to transfer enzymes to other species. Leviathan embryos. Adult specimen too large to study in containment. Egg specimen required for nesting site. Embryos show no sign of immunity. Death commonly occurs within 3 weeks. Small sample of eggs have been retained for continued high-priority research on Leviathan hatching mechanisms. Large carnivore theta. Off-site lab established to study remains shows some potential for immunity to infection, but physical remains so far proved insufficient for full reconstruction. Unidentified Leviathan. The Leviathan species has been assigned designator Sea Emperor. Bone samples from Emperor specimen indicate some potential for Kara immunity. Single specimen captured for study at purpose-built containment facility constructed in volcanic region at depth 1.4 kilometers. Assessment. While it is unlikely that the Emperor specimen is still contained within the facility described, it may be possible to acquire further data there on the aliens' attempt to develop a vaccine. Ventilation control. The water flow to and from the primary containment facility is being automatically controlled independently of other safeguards. The data on the water composition has been recorded. Inflow. Water is being drawn from different biomes around the surface on the planet. The water temperature is considerably lower than the volcanic environment outside the facility, but microorganism and nutrient counts are substantially higher. Outflow. Oxygen-deprived water is being flooded from the system and recycled back to the surface. Okay, Aurora survivors. Oh yeah, alien data's gone. Okay.
Exiting sleep mode. Loading voice recognition. Engineer Barclay and Chief Technology Officer you identified.
Drone, get me a propulsion cannon.
Repulsion cannon retrieved.
Hey, Berkeley. Install that circuit box with that repulsion cannon and you'll punch a hole in the cargo bay.
Damn it, Drone, I said propulsion, not repulsion. Recalibrate sensors.
Senses recalibrated.
Sensors aren't the problem. I tweaked the program. It's like you now. It doesn't like being told what to do.
Drone, I know...
His name's Albert now.
Albert, I know it's not your fault, but it would really help me do my job if you'd bring me what I asked for. Thanks for your time.
Propulsion cannon retrieved.
Thank you. Now go away.
Entering hibernation mode.
Boss, this hobby of yours isn't making my job any easier. Or safer.
Maybe so, but it's all that's stopping me from being so bored I take a spacewalk in my skivvies.
The way I see it, no one's to blame here.
He gave me the wrong coordinates.
She didn't give me clear instruction. Okay, I'll rephrase. You've been equally incompetent. Now, we've lost time, but we're closer to the planet. So if the Degassi's out there, the scan should pick it up.
Why are we even helping the Mongolians? They're the competition.
Enjoy your shore leave on Sanjay Station? Like having fuel in the tanks? Thank the Mongolians. We run the scans, we show them we didn't find anything, and we say thanks for the free dinner. Clear? Sir, there's something odd on the surface scan here. Turn that recorder off.
Captain's log. Loading program. Craig McGull Simulator Rat. Size 1 player. Captain Hot Dog Hollister. Map Boreal 9. Resources normal. Are exploring a quiet alien backwater. When your ship you arrived here implodes. It must be the arachnid kidney poachers. Quick, what do you do? Search the crash site, farm alien plants. Use the tectonic de-imploder. Unavailable. Farm plants. That is just what Craig McGill would do. After foraging for some hours, you've collected a number of potential farmable foodstuff, which will you sustain yourself with. Starball eggs. While the star eggs are nutritious, the life cycle of these vast spacefaring creatures is much too slow to sustain a farm, and besides, their mother extremely angry with you. Accept your fate. Craig McGill knows there's no reasoning with a mother scorned. You are not so much torn apart as swallowed whole and digested. The atoms that you thought were you are gradually redistributed in service of the Starball continuous route. Would you like to continue? No.
I'm not really a doctor. I know that's what my ID says, but I never have been. Cheated the medical exams. What does a doctor these days need to know about manually resetting bones? When was the last time a top surgeon actually cut someone open? That's what the robots are for. Doctors these days read diagnoses off of computer readouts. For that, I'm perfectly qualified. But what good is it when I'm not connected to the main network? I'm bleeding. I've got glowing green pustules growing on my hands. I run a self-scan and it tells me I've got skin irritation. The only thing I studied in medical school was how to lie convincingly. What the hell do I know about how to treat an alien disease? I think I'm actually going to die down here.
That's sad. He's just like me.
Live pod launch sequence initiated. Entering planetary atmosphere.
My creators, the cherishers and sustainers of worlds, give me this day my daily pleasures as I give to those who seek pleasures from me.
External temperature approaching critical levels.
Show me the path. In life, truth, and love for mine is the power. I am the one. On and off and on again.
Impact imminent.
Life is a game which the universe plays with itself. I am done playing as this bundle of flesh. Return me.
That was pretty crazy. I think that was, hey, movie quote line.
How's his log? It's the day of the crash. I don't know what the heck is happening. I'm scared and I'm not going outside. There are shadows in the water under the hatch, but I can't tell if they're rocks or aliens. And there's weird-looking caves nearby. The Aurora was carrying everything needed to build the phase gate. Mobile vehicle bays, bioreactors, propulsion cannons. It had a cinema. There was a zero-G gym. My cafe. I don't understand how we're here now. I don't know why no one's coming for me.
That's also sad, dude. To all crew, if you're reading this, then you have followed the automatic distress signal broadcast by this LifePod's onboard computer. Contrary to my orders, I have been forced to evacuate. Your orders are to disregard my safety and attempt to reach the designated rendezvous coordinates at the nearest landmass. I hope to see you there.
Keen, this is Aurora. Come in. This is Keen. Life pod detached to Cape Planet 4 in 30 seconds.
The computer has identified a landmass at the attached coordinates. I want you to regroup the crew there.
Understood, but
They are your responsibility now. Don't let them down.
Captain, you need to evacuate.
Negative. You'll need the ship in one piece if you're going to contact HQ on the long range. I'm attempting a controlled descent.
Captain!
Flotation devices failed.
We're flooding. Evacuate.
Wait. I can reconfigure the O2 system to act as a bilge pump.
It's working.
Okay, good news. We're alive and we've stopped sinking.
Bad?
The oxygen's going to run out in 30 minutes and we're 500 meters down.
What do we do?
We'll have to use the remaining juice to send a distress call and build whatever gear we can. Then we find a way to the surface.
Okay.
You really think it'll carry two of us?
Your regular sea glide tows a mass of 80 kilograms at over 30 kilometers an hour. The power cellar rig to this one should double that.
You think there's something out there that's faster?
Oh, sure. And that's assuming it doesn't overload 3 meters from the life pod.
You're calm about this.
I'm seeing the engineering problem. If I stop seeing the maths, I'll be terrified.
Huh.
To any Altera crew. Landed in area of significant alien activity. Encountered predators in the Leviathan class, highly aggressive. Spectroscope scanner assigned species designator Reaper. One specimen attempted to swallow the life pod, doing extensive damage in the process. Only viable option is to make for the safety of the Aurora crash site. I have retrieved a data box with the creature decoy and enough resources to fabricate a couple of them. The swim's longer than the decoy lifetime, but it should just be enough to keep them busy. If you don't find me on board the ship, presume I miscalculated.
Ma'am, I need you to stay calm. We're not in immediate danger.
Where are the rescue teams?
The Aurora didn't make it.
So, where are the rescue teams?
They're dead, ma'am. We have rendezvous coordinates, but the route's irradiated.
So, what are you going to do?
I'm head of human resources, ma'am. This is not my expertise. But the PDA says if we can find some lead, we can make radiation suits.
Oh, there! I am not setting foot outside this life pod without the proper protection.
Don't worry. I'll go. What are you doing?
You were gone so long. I thought you'd drowned.
Put the flare down!
I was going to try and attract someone's attention.
That's not a distress flare! Stop waving it around like that. You'll catch the fuel line.
How'd that one well?
I've tried everything. The analysis circuits on the fabricator are fried. Can barely manufacture the most basic of materials. Want a battery? Here, have a children's toy. Need deep-sea diving equipment? Have some lab tech. Hungry? I'll turn that fruit into dust for you. I'm going forward with trial and error. I hit every button here has got to make something useful eventually.
Profitability projections. 2 choices. A. Carry on working long-haul missions out of it. Come up with profitability business. Sell it to Altera. Live happily ever after. I choose 2 ideas. A robot that builds other robots. A water filtration system that has infinite power. Solar panel. Body heat. Do suns last forever? Check this. A facegate that can be built by self-repairing robots instead of poor, lonely humans on an 18-month mission. What happens if something goes wrong? A VR program that precisely simulates real life down to the finest details. How do I know I didn't already invent it and I'm inside it right now? A gun that shoots other smaller guns. Can't see any real objections to this one.
We have to board the Aurora, repair the long-range comms, make contact with the other survivors. We can't be the only 2 that made it.
Those are not the orders the captain gave me, and they are not the orders I'm giving you.
This isn't chain of command, it's survival.
My obligations as acting commander don't turn on their convenience. Get out of the water.
If I get into trouble, I'll send you my coordinates.
I can't let you go alone.
Then come with me.
You don't leave me much choice.
Received emergency transmission from Second Officer Keane, 2 hours after last activity.
Rendezvous was a failure. Intercepted a transmission from Altera HQ. Seems they sent a data package to the Aurora. We were intercepted by a Leviathan-class predator before we could reach the ship. Consider the CTO and I lost at sea. Be safe. Keen. Out.
Suspicious keyword. Religious. Detected. Beginning automated recording.
I find a tendency amongst Alterans to think not only that you have it best, but that yours is the only way to have it at all. In the Mongolian states, we have the freedom to work for ourselves. Hey! Most of us are contractors. Joe owns her own company. Whose ship are you living on right now? Yours or Altera's? You do well to remember whose ship you're on, Mongolian. According to my religious beliefs, this ship belongs to us all. We're all part of the same system. The only difference between us is where we choose to draw lines. Wise words for someone from a cowboy corporation fighting over rocks in the far reaches of space.
That's interesting. What's in clues? Alien facility, okay. Intercept background data regarding further alien facilities elsewhere on the planet. Disease research facility, depth 800 meters. Kitchen cave system with extensive fossil record southwest of enforcement platform. Function, live specimen study. Objective, synthesis of antidote for highly infectious bacterium designated Kara. Thermal power facility. Because inside the extensive natural rock formation of that generation. Bam bam. Offsite laboratory. Primary offsite laboratory. In the event of an outbreak, quarantine procedures will be automatically enforced with immediate effect that a quarantine enforcement platform will target all incoming and outgoing crowd to prevent the spread of infection off-world. High security terminal, captain's quarters. Before the lost communications, Altera HQ uploaded a set of blueprints to our Aurora's main computer. And there is a high security terminal inside the captain's quarters, located behind the prawn bay, from which the blueprints should be accessible. The code is 2679. Live access. If you need to tweak your equipment, please use the mod station in the forward section and retrieve pre-configured equipment from from the lab next door to the data coil. The door code is 6483. Okay, Translation 4, LifePod 4 transmission origins. The distress signal. Why does that look like the destroyed Aurora? Anyway, the distress signal has been received from LifePod 4, but the attached coordinates were corrupted. Last available photographic data has been downloaded and analyzed. Flotation device is active. LifePod located at sea level. Pod is close proximity to radioactive fallout from the Aurora. Transmission origin approximately 150 meters northwest of the Aurora's port midsection. LifePod 6 transmission origin. A distress signal has been received from LifePod 6, but the attached coordinates were corrupted. The last available photographic. Crew suggested assistance navigating radiation, sunk to approximately 100 meters, located in an area dense with red grass near a number of natural arches and rock states. Transmission origin is approximately 400 meters west of LifePod's 4 last known location. Transmission 7. A distress signal about that. Crew reported problems with their onboard fabricator, sunk to 200 meters in the area of low ecological activity. Transmission origin approximately 1 kilometer southwest of the Aurora's stern section. Notes to self. Hugh's birthday. Yeah, everybody's into her. So here we are, finally in open space. We crossed the galaxy to install a phase gate, to send ships to mine resources, to build more expensive ships, to install fancier phase gates. Are we even trying to exhaust the galaxy or just ourselves? 18.06. That's August 18th is Hugh's birthday. 40 weeks before we get home. 400 weeks. It feels like before we get home. Not enough credits. Altera's paying me. 1454 cargo bay code. Primary containment facility. The power of that is that power distributing. Okay, these are actually interesting. Self-opening quarantine enforcement units. 5%. Arch network 10%. Sanctuaries Alpha Beta Kappa 10%. Quarantine enforcement banner 35%. Disease research facility offline. Primary containment facility 20%. Reserve 20%. There's no clear way to interrupt the thing. Power router in the thermal plant is distributing energy collected on site to other facilities in the plant. Suite officers. From Huggins to Wilson. Telling me you've been on this rig more than a year and you never want to go ride on the outside? Well, now you've only gone and gotten yourself a friend with the keys to a giant frickin' robot suit. We've plain got nothing to do till we get Starside to work on the gate. Do you want a taste of the stars? You've only got to say you want to taste the stars? You've only got to say my spare prawn suit's got your name on it. You don't know what power feels like till you've crushed an asteroid with your bare, heavily mechanically augmented hands. Want to play catch with a passing meteor? Come by cabin number 1. Code's 1869. Okay, Degassi survivor. Altera search and rescue message. This is search and rescue. Target crew of Mongolian vessel Degassi. Last known position, vicinity of planet 4546b, arrayed in arm. Contact Mongolian emissary Jockey Kassar, Aurora passenger quarters. Mission brief. A Mongolian vessel, the Degassi, disappeared almost a decade ago. Carrying with it high-ranking Mongolian chief, corporate insurance has purchased passage aboard the Aurora for emissary Kassar, and your orders are to make every reasonable effort to locate and retrieve the Degassi crew members without compromising the primary mission. Confirming the fate of the crew will aid Altera's diplomatic efforts with the Mongolian councils. Mission details. Aurora is due to perform a slingshot maneuver around 4546b, Category 3 ocean planet, approximately 35 months post-launch. This will bring the ship within range of the Degassi's last known position. Additionally, aquatic and all-terrain vehicles have been included in the Aurora's cargo package for this mission. Degassi crew manifesto has been distributed to senior employees in a separate message. Degassi Crew Manifest Bart Torgal. Auxiliary Search and Rescue Mission Bart Torgal. Position Vice President of Torgal Corp. Status lost in space near 4546b. Age at the time of disappearance 19. The only legitimate child of Paul Torgal. Beneficiary of enhanced learning techniques and cerebral implants. Digi trained in advanced biochemistry and stellar economics. Emissary Cassard reports Bart was accompanying his father to a newly constructed deep space station, where he is to serve a 5-year term as Chief Operating Officer. Margaret Maida. Position freelance security personnel, lost in space near that, times experience 42. Missionary born in the Mongolian states, experienced in ship-to-ship and close-quarters combat techniques. Tours of duty with the Mongolian Defense Force and Trans-System Federation. Dishonorably discharged from the TSF 15 years ago for going off mission. Details classified. Emissary Cassard reports Maida was hired to accompany Paul Torgal on board the Degassi into uncharted space and defend the ship in case of assault by pirate or rival corporations. Degassi Crew Manifests. Paul Torgal. Time of disappearance 79. Paul Torgal and his crew fell out of contact with the Mongolian authorities close to a decade ago. The Torgals were a resourceful and powerful clan. The ship was well equipped, so their survival is considered likely. However, multiple vessels passing through the system have since attempted to trace the ship to no effect. It's hoped that Aurora's superior scanning suit can do better. A majority shareholder in the Torgal Corp by his mother upon her retirement. Interaction with Altera limited to infrequent charted mutations deliveries. Beneficiary of life extension technologies. Accompanied by his only child, Bart Torgal, heir to the Torgal Company. Emissary Cassard reports Torgal often traveled with a skeleton crew and was known for making rash but profitable decisions. Inadequate systems maintenance or straying from its planned route may account for the ship's disappearance. Okay, there's that. Okay.
I thought it might get claustrophobic living underwater. Father feels it is. He'd tell me it was childish, but I stare out of the window and sometimes I think how lucky I am to see this world up close. Back on the island, I wouldn't have believed the creatures that live down here. The fish, they glow. There's one that's 90% eyeball. Snakes twice the length of a habitat compartment. Certainly, it's not all friendly. Most of the plant life is toxic. I learned that the hard way. But I've managed to coax some marble melons into growing indoors. And when they don't cover our dietary needs, well, we eat the fish themselves. It's a bit gross, but it's nothing they wouldn't do. I've been attempting to document my findings. Father approves. He says understanding is power, that the more we know about this planet, the more we can use it to our advantage. I'm just doing it because it's fun. It's not easy without proper equipment and network access, but the old-fashioned way, observing, taking notes, testing theories, shows me the world in a way a spectroscopic analysis never could. Lately, I've been watching the crab snakes. They ambush their prey as it tries to feed on the mushrooms they hide in. What they don't eat settles on the seabed, which fertilizes the mushrooms, which feeds the herbivores, and so the chain continues. Co-evolution gives me the fuzzies.
Interesting.
Something incredible just happened. Since we're down here, I had this plan to build equipment and study the life forms we were encountering, but I didn't have enough enameled glass.
Welcome aboard,
So I
Captain.
started looking for a natural substrate that would strengthen the glass we have, and those stalker teeth we've been finding fit the bill. Only, well, we needed more. That's when Marguerite got interested. She actually listened to me, more than I can say for Father, and I worked up the courage to talk about my more tentative theories. When I told her they were attracted to metal deposits, that their teeth get dislodged when they pick them up, her eyes narrowed and she dashed out of the room. 3 hours later, she came back, her pack loaded down with stalker teeth. I asked her about it. She shrugged and said my theories were good. Said she had the meeting out of the palm of her hand. I think she meant it literally. She is incredible. She went out to the kelp forest armed with just a heat blade and went fin to fin with a pack of stalkers. On the one hand, that is the coolest thing I have ever heard. On the other, well, I hope the stalkers didn't come off worse than Marguerite did. She had a huge gash on her forearm. I don't think things went as smoothly as she made out. What's the point in surviving here if we have to kill everything that makes it so wonderful? I wish I knew more about these animals, but Father won't let me leave the habitat. Maybe with all this glass, we could build a containment unit and get up close to them. This is the first time I've seen sunlight in months. After all that time in the deep, I've been dreaming of it. Now that I'm back here, I'm finding it hard to enjoy alone. Father was right. We should never have left this place. We shouldn't have gone so deep. They do not want us down there. Despite my best efforts, ill health is taking hold of me. The visions are getting worse. Marguerite and Father are now part of the ecosystem of this incredible planet. It's reassuring to know that when I go, I'll join them. Until then, well, there's always the view.
Dang.
This island is a godsend. Look out of the window. No predators, fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship. And your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds. Speak up, kid.
It's true, Father. The natural growth rates are too slow to keep supporting us.
All I'm saying is ocean's got us surrounded. No use hiding. Sooner or later, we'll get our feet wet.
The rest of your life may have been a fight, Maida, but I've made my decision. You want to forfeit your emergency pay to take a swim? Go ahead.
Believe me, I'm thinking on it.
Son, I said wait for the storm to pass. Your life's more valuable to me than a plant patch.
You stopped being in charge when the ship you were captaining sunk.
I'll stop being in charge when you take charge of yourself.
Say, Chief. Chief!
What?
Do you know how to drain those grow beds of 40 tons of stormwater? Or how to conjure food from the air?
I know how to prioritize.
I'm just saying, if that's so, what's your boy's life worth to you today? If tomorrow you're gonna be so hungry you start wondering what he tastes like, let him go deal with the plants.
Son, go deal with the plants.
Bard, Torgo has disembarked the habitat.
Interfere with my family again, and when rescue arrives, I will leave you here. Do you understand me?
No rescue coming, Chief. Not in time. No staying here neither. This rain keeps falling, sooner or later this place will be buried. Only choice we got is whether to get buried with it. You see, Chief, you brought us to this sodden planet. Told us we'd see a lush payday. Now what do we got some 6 weeks later? A dead crew, a habitat that's half buried, food washed away.
I suppose the executive decisions would be better left to someone with your extensive experience of hitting people in the face.
I know enough not to take unscheduled detours to uncharted planets. That's something you don't want to learn the hard way.
Easy to judge a decision in hindsight. Harder to come up with a plan of your own.
Got one already. We take what we can carry and hunker down in a cave somewhere. I scouted a site, a couple 100 meters deep, lots of metal deposits.
How do you imagine we'd live?
With ready access to building materials, like damn queens, a couple of water filters, a bioreactor, fresh fish. But Chief, we'll eat seaweed salad and drink our own urine if that's what it takes. All that matters is, do you got something better?
Send the coordinates to my PDA. I'll review your proposal. What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it outside in the sand.
Part of another ship?
None I've ever seen.
It's not even scratched.
Don't fool around with it. It might be worth something.
Stand down, Chief. If it were gonna crumble to dust, it would have done so when I picked it up.
It's glowing.
We're not the first people to come to this planet.
People? Maybe. Could be aliens. Could be the damn sea monsters for all we know. One thing for sure, we ain't gonna find out by staying here.
What? I don't have number 5. Oh my gosh, dude. Ugh. I'd have to assume it's this one. Oh wait, why am I not doing this one? It's quite unfortunate that that happened. I'm glad I found out though. I mean, I found one of them from just like wandering around. Also, I could probably die and like, yeah, it wouldn't matter. Let's just go deep. I guess I must have like just not saved that like at all. Which means it's either at the island or somewhere else. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm back. Glad I went through it. Would have been realized. Databank. Databank Subnautica. Sweet officer. Wait, what? Do I have that? Aurora last recorded transmission. It is not giving me any coordinates. Okay, wait, hold up. Degassi Sea Lake, Jelly Shroom Cave, Degassi Sea Base. Oh wait, hold up, it has a picture. It's like in a corner, freaking buried. What? That's so evil. I think it's inside the base.
Integrating new PDA data.
Oh, you do nothing. Pathetic. What the frick this is? Okay, the only thing I would lose is just water, I think. Yeah, you know what? I should freaking just look through the PDA again. Oh, and food, yes. Personal data system. Hey, the bank. Hey, the bank. Subnautica. Now I love them. For those, because I specifically got her. Extra careful for those ones. Okay, let's go through the rest at the same time, so. So we're on number 5.
Son, there is always a pecking order. And in our world, money makes a hierarchy. I pay Maida a fraction of what I pay you, and you a fraction of what I pay me.
If money makes the hierarchy, why is Marguerite making the decisions?
We need her. We let her think what she likes, so long as she does what she's told.
And what if she doesn't?
For enough money, she will. People always do. We're already 200 meters below sea level.
We got that
You
one.
want to go deeper?
Look around us, Chief. Water leaking through the hull, water outside the hatch. We're drowning real slow. If rescue arrives, whatever shot us down, it's gonna do it again and again until it's shut off. You see an off switch around here, Chief?
Why would it any more likely be half a kilometer down?
Your kid found something on the scanner. There's something down there. Something that shouldn't be.
You're mad.
I'm going all the same, and I've an idea you two are gonna follow. But if you do, be mindful. Your authority stopped at sea level.
Please, stop fighting and listen. We're sick.
What?
How?
You've been coughing, right? Feeling itchy? Blisters?
Yeah.
The biometrics would have warned us if we were sick.
It's something new. It's not in the database.
Come on, then. What's it gonna do? Turn us inside out? Dissolve us into jelly?
It's an alien bacteria. It's everywhere. Every organism on this planet. It's altering our genetic code.
How are the creatures surviving if they're infected?
I don't know yet.
Want me to cut some of them open for you? Find out what makes them tick?
No.
Just tell me what you need, son. Materials, equipment.
Just... Can I have some quiet? I need some time to think.
Margaret, Maida has boarded the habitat.
What are you so happy about, Maida?
Say, kid, I brought you something.
Is that a Leviathan outside?
Towed it home on the back of the sub.
You killed that thing?
It's still breathing. I was about to finish the job, but I can stay and chat if you'd like. No? Then make yourself useful and pass me that hardened blade.
Are you out of your mind? You brought that thing here? What if it's not as dead as it looks? What if others come?
You prefer it got curious and came of its own accord, or got messed up and dragged here?
When we get off this planet, I am going to drag you through every court in the damn Federation. I have had it with you, risking our lives.
Oh, stow it, Chief. The kid can't kill this disease without fish to study. I'm just bringing him home.
But tell her. Tell her I'm right.
You're both wrong. Marguerite, I can't find out how they resist the bacteria if you slaughter them all.
It ain't always they oblige in coming in alive.
He means you're being reckless.
Father, the outcome's no better if we hole up in here and don't go outside. That we have to find a middle way.
There is no compromise. Not while she's on my sea base.
Your sea base?
I'm going outside.
Bart, Torgal has disembarked the habitat.
Bart, come in. It's dangerous. Damn it, boy. I know you can hear me.
Oh, is it a ghost alarm?
Chief. Chief, get off the radio and put on your helmet.
What?
Brace!
No, that's a beacon. User Paul Torval requested cross-referencing of local environment scans with ideal habitat construction conditions, displaying results. Large subterranean cavern with multiple entrances. Conditions support a unique microcosm of predatory lifeforms. Minor structural instability in cave walls. Extensive resource deposits. Average environment safety rating C. Optimal habitat site safety rating B. Site 7 has been selected as the optimal habitat construction site for the following reason. Close running to one of the cave entrances in case of emergency. Medium distance from predatory organisms. Stable foundation on which to build ready access materials. a signal tracking and site has been created.
These conniving corporate bourgeois, inbred, incompetent, self-absorbed jerks don't have a damn clue. The kid's not so bad. He's even useful. But I swear, everything that comes out of his father's idiot face is a narcissistic lie. He wants to stay in this cave, his problem. I'm the one doing the heavy lifting. When sea monsters are hunting you, you don't hide. You hunt the sea monsters. Then you build a bigger boat out of sea monster bones and you hunt bigger monsters. Keep going until there aren't any monsters left to hunt you. I'm going deeper. I'm gonna find what shot us down and I'm gonna tear its damn heart out. I've started the prep work. The kids taught me how to make enameled glass. I've started stockpiling metal ores to build myself a sea moth. I'll raid the indoor grow beds before I leave.
Chief's log, 5 weeks since the crash. The only other survivors are my son, Bart, and Maida, the cut-price mercenary I commissioned for the journey. After days drifting in the life pod, rain hammering on the roof, the weather cleared and we washed up here. I had Maida salvage the Degazi wreck, set Bart to finding us a stable source of food. His education is paying off sooner than I'd anticipated. Our only problem is Maida. She says the weather's going to turn. I say she's finding excuses to risk our lives. I imagine she's not gonna weaken her life without a physical altercation, and she's itching for a fight. In every judgment she makes, things go from bad to worse. If she had my experience, she'd have more faith. Humans have spent millennia specializing in how to shackle nature to our will. This planet won't cause us any new problems. My one task now is to keep us alive, as comfortably as possible, until the insurance company arranges rescue. In this part of space, that could be months, or even years.
I'll have to look back after this.
You know what Maida told me today? She wants to build a habitat 500 meters below sea level, more than 1 kilometer northeast of here. And she needs Bart and I to do it. She's got it into her head that she can save us if she just acts recklessly enough. But I've hauled Star Wars to Neptune, Plasteel to the Federation. This family operates 9 different mining colonies across the Ariadne Arm. Maida thinks she's better suited to lead. Her contract still says otherwise. But I just cannot damn well tell whether it's the stupidest idea I ever heard, or my only hope. I turned 80 years old last week. I thought I had another 80 in me, but marooned on this planet, there's no swapping out of my liver when the old one fails. Here, I'm mortal. And Maida is useful. So, it's my responsibility to make a decision. Return to the island and hope whatever knocked the Degazi out of the sky won't do the same to the rescue ship. Or take us deeper in search of answers. And all the while be hoping old age gets me before the sea monsters do. I'll give Maida just one thing. She was right about these caves. There's enough lithium there to fabricate 100 tons of plasteel. Enough for a damn fleet of Cyclops submarines. There was nothing anyone could have done to avoid crashing here. But I was right to order the detour. If we get off this planet, they'll be talking about the Torgal share price on the other side of the Federation. Came out of nowhere. An alien kraken, bigger than a Cyclops. Tore a hole clear through the reinforced hull. I barely got my breather in time. I told her. I said others would come. The rupture threw me clear of the habitat, and the monster turned and bore down on me. Just as its tentacles came within reach, Maida appeared out of nowhere. She had a sea glide in one hand, a jagged piece of scrap metal in the other. She meant to butcher that beast or die trying. The last I saw her, she had the metal lodged in its neck as the monster did its best to shake her, contorting off into the darkness. I'm certain she got her wish, one way or another. Then I thought I saw a light deep below me. I hoped maybe Bart had swum clear. I followed it. Now I wonder whether I saw anything at all. Our oxygen is low. The habitat is gone. I can't see the sky. Something surely has the scent of my blood.
Dang. Holy. That was crazy.
Average long-range transmission delay, 8 hours. Opening last recorded transmissions.
This is an emergency distress call. Aurora is on collision course with planet 4546b. Sending all available environmental data. Please respond with rescue solution. Out.
This is Altera HQ. Attached to this message, you should find the blueprints for an escape ship that we calculate will be capable of breaking orbit and getting you back to the nearest phase gate. Now, it's designed to use materials you can find in situ, but it's gonna need one hell of a power source. Now, we'll be sure to...
Aurora long-range communications relay offline.
Okay, initially this thing's hot room around the high velocity engine food. Emergency distress signals to the Altera, and boy via lungs calm. Back detected, lifeboat boys on bays on starboard side compromised. Outgoing communications compromised. Emergency evacuation initiated. Manual pilot. Planning charge of the Captain Hollister. Life pods 1 through 25 launched successfully, entering planetary atmosphere. Massive impact registered. Drive core shield compromised. Energy bounce backs received from 8 life pods on planet's surface. Humans life signs detected over long range at T plus 8 hours. 1. Personnel unaccounted for. Non-essential system maintenance chief Riley Robinson. Altera HQ rescue solution received at 2 8 hours plus. High priority terminal in captain's quarters. Monitoring equipment failed at T plus 13 hours. Drive core shielding breach. The Aurora drive core is shielded by a thick metal shell which breached in multiple locations shortly after the crash. Once breached, it will continue to leak radiation in the surrounding environment until the breaches are sealed. After that point, the radiation in the environment will dissipate over time. This procedure should only be attempted with appropriate radiation protection and a fully charged repair tool. Yard suit log. Loading program. Deserted island drama. Vrad. Size 3 players. Resources normal. Spawning players on beach. Player 1 has been washed away by an unusually high tide. Player 2 was traded a coconut with Player 3 for 10 credits. Player 3 has planted a coconut. Players are getting hungry. Player 3 is going to cook. Player 3 is eating a coconut. Player 3 no longer hungry. Player 3 is traded a coconut with Player 2 for 30 credits. Player 2 is eating a coconut but is still hungry. Saying for building a tent. And is sleeping there. Player 2 is cold. Night falls. A passing ship is offering trading. Player 2 is traded 32. Player 3 has been shot twice in the head while sleeping. Player 2 wins. Player 2 has died from cold and starvation. Charity almost went by. Okay, charity is an archaic concept which is the realism of today's Alterans has rendered obsolete. We understand that we are each responsible for ourselves, but the best way to get the most for ourselves is to work together with Altera. The implication of this reasoning is clear. If someone is in need, they must find a way to be needed. Altera Alms is a training academy for those that need to be needed. We're not a charity because we don't ask for handouts. We really think of ourselves as a philanthropic beneficence facilitation service promoting synergy between employer and workers. AA operates on a lottery system. Investing any number of credits, you will be entered into our prize draw. Larger investments yield higher chances of winning. Your credits will go towards training unskilled colonists in vital tasks such as maintenance and interpersonal skills. The colonists receive the training voluntarily and free of charge, on condition of minimum contract with one of our investors on completion of their training. Altera citizen testimonials. Frank told us this. I hear there are worlds... Okay, hold on. Okay. Frank told us this. I hear there are worlds out there where kids still learn from books. They go into a classroom every day, they memorize things, then later they type those things into a controlled environment, out in controlled environments. Our world's where everyone's supposed to do whatever creative job they feel like. What use is learning to draw or sing in a world where there's no human resource department to coordinate the galleries and concerts? On Altera worlds, psychometrics testing and specialized digitraining makes the most of everyone's talents. Max Zoinkov. I started out in marketing for Altera survival systems. It was good work, but I thought I could do better. I set up my own company, developing bespoke code for the Seamoth, but it could operate in open space, not just underwater. I sold it to Altera 10 years ago, and now it's one of the most widely used vehicles in the galaxy. Now I'm on the board of directors, and I haven't looked back. George said, an average day for me starts at 10 a.m. I live in the controlled habitat on Terra 17, so everything I need is less than 5 minutes away. I'm a naturally empathetic person, so I took work as a companion. I spend my days visiting clients, talking with them, learning about them, paying them the attention that everyone needs and deserves. Like everyone on Altera worlds, I'm lucky enough to earn a living doing things I enjoy. God says we're lucky, we're free, we have jobs. There are transcovs out there that do everything with robots, you know. Altera launches Aurora. Phase gates announced for the Arabian arm. Altera launches the Aurora. Furthest reaches of an inhabited space are due to expand as Altera Corp launches a newly constructed capital ship carrying a phase gate bound for the Arabian arm. The Aurora will travel from a space dock on the edge of Altera space, making hundreds of consecutive phase gate jumps through 9 different transgov authorities, and arrive on the far side of the Arabian arm in 3 months' time. From there, the command crew will pilot the ships beyond the final phase gate, arriving in the next system approximately 18 months later. There's an elite team of engineers who will begin a 6-month construction project on the new phase gate, a multi-trillion credit investment. In the absence of existing infrastructure in the region, the vessel is equipped with advanced thermal and nuclear power facilities. Altera Corp currently operates 9% of all phase gates in the galaxy. If Aurora's mission is successful, Altera would have outmaneuvered a cabal of Mongolian corporations, operating a range of outposts and mines in the region. Corp profile, Torgal Corp. Torgal Corporation is a long-standing family-run clan that operates almost a dozen mining and trade operations. The company's share price hit an all-time high on the announcement of the Mongolian cabal of their intention to construct a new phase gate utilizing Torgal materials. These plans were put on hold when Bart Torgal, the intended leader of the new mining operation, disappearing along with his father roughly a decade ago. Join Altera's board of directors. It's not about the money. That's what every director on Altera's board has told me, and I believe them. Profitability is just an interim measure of success. Power and statuses are the real goals. Make enough profit for Altera Corporation, and you'll be recognized by the most powerful business people in the universe. Establish a company that obliterates the competition, and after compulsory buyout, you can be promoted to the board of directors. Perks include travel, free of use of company phase gates, entourage, personal assistance for every facet of your life, longevity, automatic organ replacement. Altera, get what you deserve.
Listen, I know I don't have the right to make demands of you, but I need you to understand that I want to change our arrangement.
I hear what you're saying, and I will try to respect it. How would you like to change it?
I would like to reduce our contact hours.
How much further can we do that?
To 0.
You're dumping me.
I'm changing the terms of our relationship.
How is it still a relationship if we don't see each other?
It's a relationship of a kind. You have so many expectations.
I feel you just want to spend more time with that dumb guy in his dumb robot suit.
That's not a feeling. It's a judgment. And I feel hostility in what you're saying. Perhaps your jealousy is a sign that you need to take another look at your business model. Why can't you just be happy for me?
I am happy for you, and I'm happy for all the guys in the prawn bay. I'm just not happy for me.
This is why I want to change our arrangement.
Relationship, autonomous relationships. Poured by Jenny Eggart. All the good things in life are commodities. We trade, love, just as we buy and sell stocks. We engage in human relationships when there is a fair exchange of value. Support, motivation, affection, nothing good is ever free. If every single good in the Federation came from a single supplier, it would constitute a dangerous monopoly. Personal relationships are the same. It is important for people to get what they need from multiple sources. If a person finds a better source for the goods they supply, they are not wronging their original supplier by changing their purchasing arrangements. Though one member of the relationship should feel threatened or jealous, they must look at their own business model and ask whether it is performing competitively. There's always room for improvement. Charter. Definitions. Transgov, an independent authority in the de facto control of at least one solar system and phase gate. Citizen. A person who consents consciously or implicitly to the authority of a recognized transgov. The Charter, the full legal contract agreed upon the 37 separate transgovs and summarized herein. The Trans System Federation. Military police charged with enforcing the terms of the Charter, independent of, but funded by the transgovs. Trans-System Phase-Gate. Trans-System Phase-Gate. Any permanent installation which enables warping or of spacefaring vessels between solar systems. Transgov principles. Each transgov is to have an equal right to the most expensive basic liability compatible with a similar liberty for others. A. Each has their right to own phase gates and planetary infrastructure. B. Each has an obligation to share phase gate access with other transgovs on fair terms at no cost to themselves. C. Each has an obligation to financially maintain and comply with the TSF. 2. Each transgov has the right to self-government, subject to the restrictions laid out below. No transgov may develop weapons and technology outlawed in Appendix 91. No transgov shall engage in population peace. Okay, today's menu. Starter, Space Bear Valiant. Since the introduction of the interstellar vacuum in the 21st century, microscopic tardigrades, or space bears, have adapted and flourished where no other life forms have survived. Condensed into a smooth, nutty, protein-rich soup, they are the freshest local ingredient available to travelers on long-haul space flights. Named cottage pie or nutrient block. Rehydrated minced beef in its own gravy, served with the topping of mashed Chinese potato, picked fresh from the morning from onboard grow beds, and a side of sautéed Chinese potato plant leaves for the time-conscious consumer. The usual nutrient block options are available. They may be consumed cold or reconstituted at the on-site fabricator. Dessert, dried fruits and nuts. Unfortunately, a recent accident in Cargo Bay 3 involving the incorrect application of propulsion cannon in combination with a modified battery charger resulted in the venting into space of all dehydrated desserts. Fruits and nuts will be the only available dessert for the next 39 weeks. Wait a second. With the propulsion... The incorrect application of the propulsion cannon. Transgov Profile Atera Corp, one of the largest suppliers of spacefaring technologies and consumer electronics in the Federation. The official supplier of the TSF. Constantly ranked amongst the galaxy's best employers. Began life as a defense manufacturer in the mid-22nd century. National motto, get what you deserve. Although most transgovs can trace their roots back to Earth, Altera, literally meaning by Earth, is the only one brazen enough to take its name. During the expansion, Altera supplied arms to all sides, acquiring and housing a vast colonist workforce and making the transition from manufacturing to corporate state. Altera's threat to cease trade was one of the turning points in the conflict, bringing about the end of the hostiles and the signing of the charter. Free enterprise within Altera space is encouraged but competition is tight. All goods exported off-world must be Altera branded. Profitable businesses are brought out by the state. Owners ascending to the board of directors, well-known Altera technologies like the Cyclops submersible originated with such private enterprises. Despite superficial similarities to national governments, the corporation's lawyers have always maintained that has no legal obligation to its employees, but voluntarily elects to take one of the roles usually served by a democratically elected government. This claim has not yet been tested in Federation courts. Transgov profile Mongolian. Okay, when the hostilities of the expansion ceased, the tactical value of hard-to-reach colony systems on the edge of the China territories plummeted. Recouping from the war, the central government left them to starve. The systems in question declared independence, claiming their infrastructure as their own, and the intent to become self-sufficient. Today, the Mongolian state is seen as a relatively minor power on the outskirts of colonized space, yet it remains one of the fastest expanding transgovs in the galaxy. Mongolian societies inherited their technologies from the Chinese, but incorporated the customs of their multicultural colonist base. Non-synthetic foods remain popular. Religion is a strong component of society, but the Mongolians take a relaxed view of competing faiths, believing gods to be universally and equally flawed. Okay, I gotta get some food. Dude, we're running out of fish resources. I'm gonna have to make a water filtration system. Is that another crash fish? Okay.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
What can we learn from the hive mind of Strafter, whatever? Mind of Strader 6. How are the individuals which make up a hive mind to be categorized? Are they merely dumb components of the larger intelligent organism, or is the larger mind merely a product of the independent organisms? Can it be both? We define organisms by their traits, but find invariably that these traits depend on those of their environment. The concept of a tadpole is meaningless without the concept of the frog it will develop into. The idea of a predator is empty without an understanding of its prey. This begs the question: if we define everything by reference to everything else, what have we actually explained? An illustrative experiment was recently performed on the hive mind colony discovered on Strader 6. A device was placed outside the nest which could electrocute individuals approaching it. An ant colony would have lost many individuals before a basic danger signal was successfully communicated between them, resulting in learned avoidance of the device. Successful but costly. The Strader 6 colony quickly formed into two factions, one attempting to move the device by brute force, sacrificing individuals they did, the second attempt to cover the device in sand. Two goals being mutually exclusive, a fight ensued. The first faction was beaten in virtue of their reduced numbers. And the device was safely buried, and the survivors called a truce. From the perspective of the individuals, this experience must have been horrific. From the perspective of the hive mind, a nagging problem had been overcome with the most effective solution. Which perspective is the correct one? It suggests that it is neither. By attempting to fit such entities into our own rigid set of concepts, we are painting onto the world a false impression of concreteness and meaning, which is a reflection of our concepts of ourself. We describe Strader 6 individuals as attacking one another, just as we describe microbes in the human body. Yet the Strader colony, like the body, cannot be healthy as a whole without the aggressions of its components. We describe neurons in the brain as being dumb, but the brain as a whole as intelligent. But when an idea takes hold in the brain and forces out inferior ones, do we describe this as an act of aggression? Do we mourn dead neurons? When a philosophy or technology takes hold in human society, when wars are fought over them and people die, is it that rightly seen as being good or evil? This is not to undermine the meaning of our existence. From where we stand, our existence is very serious indeed, but is our civilization and our universe really any different from the colony on Strader 6? Is intelligence something limited to things of flesh and blood, or is the universe truly one giant intelligent system, and we but amoeba blowing self-important potholes in its surface? We would do well as scientists to remember that our goal is not to paint the world as we see it, but to see it as it truly is. Yeah, okay, I'm going to look through these ones a little bit more carefully, real quick. Alien eggs, bacterial system, enzyme host, enzyme hatching enzymes, most peepers leaving, entering, inside, ray species, sea dragon egg, sea emperor fetus, specimen and symptoms of infection, sea emperor eggs, sea emperor's lifestyle. Okay. We have all the equipment. We check that. Habit installations, we have all that. Power, yeah, that's only 4. That's only that. Okay, alien data, artifacts, we have all those, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Scan data, okay, let's check this. This actually, it's just out of everything. I mean, this is the problem we had last time, but it'll be fine. Okay, geological data. 4546B, environmental sand. Category 6, ocean, planet, oxygen, nitrogen, atmosphere, extensive biodiversity, safety warnings, not recommend the explorers environment with hazardous material suits and extensive support apparatus. Okay. Crater's edge. Geological scans of this area show a steep decline in all directions. This data is consistent with the theory that the aurora crashed on the edge of a 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer volcanic crater. It has likely been millennia since the eruption reached the surface, encouraging the ecosystem within the crater to flourish. The ecology of the trend surrounding the crater supports only 2 kinds of life, microscopic and Leviathan class. Exploration is ill-advised. Crystalline sulfur. Sulfur is highly reactive, non-metallic element usually found in abundance underground. Common applications include production of acidic compounds and combustion lines, essential for advanced fabrication. Okay, Kyanite, okay. Kyanite is a blue silicate mineral which forms under high temperatures, high pressure conditions. It is resistant to heat up to 1,100 degrees Celsius and is thermoelectric, making it a valuable component of thermal power plants, essential for advanced fabrication. Limestone outcrops. The unusual geological structures often form around titanium and copper deposits and are distinct to this planet. Closer analysis reveals the stone around the metal has been hardened against erosion, but the mechanism remains unknown. Titanium and copper source. Magnetite. Magnetite is an iron oxide valued for its magnetic potential, amongst other qualities. It is used in many Federation technologies, including sonar and torpedo systems. Assessment, essential for advanced fabrication. Nickel ore. Nickel is a medium-hard, ductile metal used extensively in production for strong metal alloys. It has applications throughout the construction industry. Essential. Whatever, okay. A hard, blood-red gemstone made of aluminum oxide, rubies may be processed in order to leverage their structural integrity in advanced vehicle construction and modification, essential for advanced fabrication. Sandstone outcrops. These common porous outcrops seem to form around small amounts of precious metals, or otherwise these metals are part of a sedimentary buildup over time, such as lead, silver, and gold source. Scattered wreckage. Okay, analysis confirms this wreckage is from the aurora. Outer layers of material have oxidized, suggesting it has been heated to over 1,200 degrees Celsius. This pattern is consistent with whole disintegration during atmospheric entry. Salvage in intact portions of Altera vessels is prohibited at legal, moral, and technical levels. However, scraps such as this may be reclaimed for their titanium content at any Altera fabricator. Shale outcrops. This sedimentary rock is formed from flakes of clay minerals, inside of which rare metals such as lithium can be found. Geological conditions on this planet mean it tends to be found in deeper biomes: gold, lithium, and diamond source. Uranite. Uranite, yeah, it is uranite, is naturally occurring uranium oxide, highly radioactive and unstable. Its primary use is in production of uranium reactor rods for nuclear reactors. Applications: nuclear reactor power. Okay, here we go. Indigenous life forms. Coral. Okay. Brain coral. A permanent growing colony of microscopic organisms. This coral species has adapted to filter carbon dioxide from the environment, using the carbon to build the colony and expelling the oxygen from specialized exhaust funnels. It is quite hardy, suggesting samples from a mature specimen could be grown artificially. Assessment: air tanks are equipped to siphon oxygen from the water where possible. Coral shell plate. It doesn't have a picture even though it shows one. This variant of coral has adapted to survive in close proximity to other corals, filtering nutrients from the water and sharing them via a spore-like substance which grows around the base. No practical application discovered. Earthen coral tubes. Genetic resemblance to giant coral tubes encountered elsewhere suggests evolutionary divergence approximately 100,000 years ago, with this subspecies being substantially lower in calcium content and specializing in growing in smaller, denser packs at deeper levels. No practical use. Giant coral tubes. The variety of coral formations on 4546b appear to be different solutions to the same problem of maximizing water and nutrient flow through the colony. These particular variants funnel water down a tube, filtering nutrients as they pass. Their size suggests they have been highly successful. Assessment: coral tubes are rich in calcium, exploitable in bleach fabrication. Pyrocoral. This coral species is unlike any other encountered on 4546b. Insofar as it relies on magma flow rather than water current to deliver its nutrients. As lava rises up from the plant's core and erupts at vents, This coral forms around the base until eventually it has surrounded the entire vent. Lava is then funneled up through the coral, allowing it to siphon minerals as the heat goes up. Table coral. Each disc is an individual colony of microorganisms filtering nutrients to the water. Growth patterns indicate the colonies are in direct competition for positions with superior current or light. Unlike other coral species, its structure is malleable, softly pulsating as it pumps nutrients to the extremities and only turning rigid when it senses physical assault. The jewel-like nodes on its surface is concentrated buildups of rare minerals the coral is unable to process, exploitable for computer chip fabrication. Tree mushrooms. Analysis of these large organic structures reveal a microorganism of cohabiting, and competing life forms. The main trunk is a species of coral, some colonies up to 5,000 years old. The caps which line it share more in common with earth fungi. Other organisms grow on the structure wherever there is space and light. Surrounding waters are dense with herbivores, life forms in the 1 mm to 10 mm range, to the extent that larger herbivores appear to have mostly abandoned the area. Assessment exploitable. Fauna, carnivores, okay. Amp eel, powerful and inquisitive predator found inhabiting the deeper waters of the reefs and bullbush colonies. Electrical prongs. Torso-mounted prongs generate a powerful electrical current, which amp eels use to incapacitate its prey. Jaws. A large, flexible jaw, studded with sharp teeth. If a faster, stronger, and hungrier predator lives on the reefs, it appears to avoid the amp eel. Avoid or incapacitate. Biter. Really? It puts it at the middle level? These guys are freaking nothing. Vicious pack hunting predator, 94% muscle, 4% connective tissue, 2% brain. Indiscriminative when hungry, almost always hungry. Specialized olfactory antenna employed in detection of bodily fluids in the water at impressive range. Secondary pair of eyes, dictated to detecting the peripheral movement of larger predators and hungry members of its own species. Overdeveloped tailfin favors outpacing and outnumbering their prey over individual maneuverability. Calculations suggest that creatures up to 100 times the biter's weight could succumb to the focus assault by a pack of 10. So avoid packs. Try not to bleed. Blighter. These are more dangerous. Small predators that share close resemblance to the more common biter, but tends towards a more solitary, less aggressive hunting style. Olfactory stalk. While the red-tipped prostruction on the blighter's head once served as sensory apparatus, it is adapted not to chase but to coax prey into its path. As prey, creatures are attracted to the dancing of the stalk, and the blighter can dart forward to catch and consume them. Teeth. One row of sharp, piercing teeth is all the blighter needs to tear through its prey. Eyes. This creature has found little use for eyes in the deep, dark caverns it inhabits, and its eyeballs are likely sensitive to nothing more than broad fluctuations in local light sources, e.g. when a meal is crossing its path. Assessment, avoid, or incapacitate. What? This thing's on the same level, less than an amp eel.